Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Page number 276. Standard of living. The government makes a lot of plans for improving the standard of living of citizens. Scarcity, poverty, and deprivation is also increasing every day. Nobody has the feeling that they are satisfied and contented. There is a Tamil proverb which says, Podum in the maname kunchayum marande, meaning that sense of contentness is a golden penance. This word, enough, seems to have disappeared from people's dictionary, except that when having to hear advices from elders, this absolute poverty, not being able to feel contented and not being able to listen to good advice. For a man having 2 cups of a coffee every day, to be able to have 4 cups of coffee is not to raise the standard of life. The same way, a man having 4 shirts to have 20 is not an improvement in the standard of living. To keep increasing the list of needs and necessities is not an improvement. However, the much you can earn, since your own demands are on the increase, the net result will be the one of dissatisfaction, discontent, poverty, and penury. The government should plan only for those necessities as required to protect a man's decency and life. Roti, kapada or makan, such a political catchphrase, meaning food, clothing, and earth as 3 essentials. To ensure the availability of these 3 for all citizens is the job of the government. For this to happen, even the richest should live at par with poorest. Bring parity at the minimum level. If the poorest lives in a hut, let us all do so. If he has gruel, let us all have the gruel. It is richness to reduce the wants. Just because you have money does not mean that you carry on feeding your wants. More the luxuries one gets used to, more will be the comparison and feeling of jealousy and hate and discontent. Page 277. Just because one can afford the most facilities and luxuries one falls for, we subject ourselves to the sin of going against the dharma of aparigraham. Aparigraham can be translated as conservation, not surrendering the sins of consumption or exploiting and denying others their due. Once we give in to this consumerism, we can never get God's grace. The human life has to be equally utilized. We should not want an iota more than the minimum requirements of living. That is aparigraham. When you have more, it is for sharing, helping, aiding and donating. That will give us jnana, nirvana and release. Release is to become free of wants. Without knowing this, the rich go on accumulating more and more of everything: pants, shirts, appliances, shares in the market, bank deposits, lockers, jewels, land properties, and so on. Looking at them, the not so well-to-do undergo the torture of jealousy. To take loans from friends, banks, and loan sharks is the answer. Then when you are under the debt trap, look for legal methods of earning. You end up selling your whole and soul to the devil 50 to 100 years back, and no one drank coffee. Everybody lived in a hut only. Ladies wore palm leaf rolled and inserted into a hole on the lower lobe of the ear as a pendant. For food, they had cereal porridge with some vegetables. People lived in almost similar dwellings. No one wore silks. If you decide not to have coffee and not to wear silks, from the money so saved, 5 families could live with equal felicity. The moment you decide that something is important or necessity, will that want is fulfilled unless effort goes on to it. This is an irritant for satisfaction and peace. Till recently, radio and telephone are luxuries. Now they have become necessities. The more you want, the peace of mind is affected inversely and proportionally. Well-being, happiness, peace and contentness are all affected. When there is more external accumulation, results in greater inner paucity and poverty. Standard of living is translated in Tamil as Varki Taranam. To live with devotion to God is really the highest standard of living. It is not it is not standard of living that is important, but the quality of life that is important. Simple living and high thinking is not to be looked down at askance. To keep on increasing one's economic needs is not so to be thought of as is the standard. All the battles are said to be won and are lost in the mind. In this case, under discussion, that idiom is very important. Make up your own mind to improve the quality of your life, for which the battle has to be fought in your mind. Government may never listen to me, but I have to say what I feel sincerely about. If we necessarily want to improve our lives, instead of spending more on the standard of living, we should be trying to bring down the so-called standard of life and improve the quality of our lives. Sri Guru Namaha. Hari Om. Rama 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 Rama.